Have you ever wondered why your spirit feels restless tonight? Do you sense that heaven's gaze is fixed directly on you, as if the very courts of angels are holding their breath to see your next move? Can you feel that this is no ordinary moment, but a divine summons written into your very destiny? Right now, God Himself has broken into your timeline with precision, like an architect unveiling a hidden blueprint that was always waiting beneath the surface. He is shifting foundations, opening unseen doors, and moving currents of favor that bear your name alone. Just as He raised Joseph from the pit to the palace, just as He whispered hope into Elijah's silence, just as He parted the Red Sea for Moses, the same unstoppable hand is now at work in your life. And you, God's chosen one, stand at the edge of breakthrough. Your decision to remain here is not trivial. It is the very key that unlocks what heaven has sealed for you. Write 777 in the comments as a declaration of your faith, a sign that you will not let this moment pass you by. To all who have stood with this word, to every faithful soul who has prayed, shared, and even poured into this channel through Super, thanks. I honor you with all gratitude. Your faith is the reason this message reaches those who need it most. Do not turn away. Something is stirring in the unseen, like the first tremor before an earthquake reshapes the land. What unfolds next could alter your household, your journey, even your material state. Stay with me, because the door is about to swing wide, and what lies beyond will take your breath away. God's chosen ones. Urgent. God says heaven is watching. Do not ignore this. There is a weight upon your life that is not a coincidence. The tension you feel over your resources, the silent battles with those closest to you, and the hidden ache within your own heart are not random. They rise from a conflict unfolding behind the veil, where the human eye cannot penetrate, but where the spirit senses a vibration, like the tremor of a deep earthquake before it breaks the surface. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers. Ephesians 6:12. And this ancient struggle has tried to encircle you in silence. Yet a whisper from heaven now cuts through the noise. My beloved one, you are not forgotten, nor abandoned in the dark. How long have you felt as if doors swing open for others but remain sealed for you, like gates of iron in an old fortress that refuse to yield? Could it be that your prayers, no matter how sincere, seem intercepted before they rise? Why does your heart recognize a shadow pressing back just when you begin to rise? This is not simply misfortune, it is a spiritual contention designed to wear you down. In the book of Daniel, it is written, from the first day that you set your heart to understand, your words were heard. And I have come, Daniel 10:12. In the same way, a divine messenger now moves toward you through the unseen architecture of heaven, bringing an answer that has already been commissioned. A sculptor from Florence, a little known beyond his city, yet inspired by the Psalms, once said to his students, "Every block of marble has an angel inside it, waiting to be set free." Your life has been treated like that marble, struck and chipped by unseen chisels, yet the hand of God carves you into His chosen form. And as in Psalm 91:11, He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. The invisible realm is already aligning protection around you. There is also a melody playing quietly behind your days. It echoes the hymn Christus vincit, once sung in the cathedrals of Cluny, a refrain proclaiming, "Christ conquers. Christ reigns. Christ commands." In your own life, this refrain is now rising. What once felt like silence will burst into song. Yet the question arises, are you ready to recognize this moment as the turning point rather than another night of despair? Nature itself mirrors your struggle. The redwood tree of California, unseen by most eyes for centuries, extends roots not only downward but outward to intertwine with its neighbors, so that storms cannot uproot it. So too, your prayers, your tears, your unseen acts of faith have sent roots into heaven's soil. Storms may bend you, but cannot break you. Those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5. Even in history, there were those who resisted the divine call. You may recall the story of Antiochus IV Epiphanes, a king who defiled the holy place, though powerful for a season. His end was sudden, and his legacy one of ashes. This mirrors the fate of the adversary, pressing against you, an aggressor whose tactics echo psychological warfare, yet whose end is collapse when exposed to light. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, Isaiah 54:17. A modern witness also testifies to this hidden conflict. Maria Alvarez, an uncelebrated nurse from a rural clinic in Argentina, once spoke about how every night she prayed over her patients in silence despite ridicule, and how small miracles began to follow. Her story is like a signpost for you. What you do in secret is not unnoticed. In the same way, your silent pleas in the midnight hours have already reached heaven's frequency. Call unto me, and I will answer you. Jeremiah 33:3. And there is more physics and resonance themselves bear witness. When two tuning forks of the same frequency are near, one struck into vibration will cause the other to sing without touch. So the cries of your spirit have already struck heaven's heart. Now the resonance returns. As the Gothic cathedrals of Europe were designed to draw the eyes upward and the voices into echoing choirs, your own life is about to be lifted into a new architecture where despair cannot dwell. The moment has come to rise. The influence that sought to diminish you is breaking. The bars that confined you are rusting away. No longer are you a bystander to your own calling. Stand, beloved one, and step forward into the life prepared for you, not tomorrow, not eventually, but now. Heaven's gates are opening. The unseen struggle is bending in your favor. Lift your head. Raise your voice. Declare your identity as one chosen by God. For the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. This is your summons to move, to breathe, to stand as a testimony of grace. There is a weight upon your life that is not a coincidence. The tension you feel over your resources, the silent battles with those closest to you, and the hidden ache within your own heart are not random. They rise from a conflict unfolding behind the veil, where the human eye cannot penetrate, but where the spirit senses a vibration, like the tremor of a deep earthquake before it breaks the surface. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, Ephesians 6:12. And this ancient struggle has tried to encircle you in silence. Yet a whisper from heaven now cuts through the noise. My beloved one, you are not forgotten, nor abandoned in the dark. How long have you felt as if doors swing open for others but remain sealed for you? Like gates of iron in an old fortress that refuse to yield? Could it be that your prayers, no matter how sincere, you seem intercepted before they rise? Why does your heart recognize a shadow pressing back just when you begin to rise? This is not simply misfortune, it is a spiritual contention designed to wear you down. In the book of Daniel, it is written, "From the first day that you set your heart to understand, your words were heard. And I have come," Daniel 10:12. In the same way, a divine messenger now moves toward you through the unseen architecture of heaven, bringing an answer that has already been commissioned. A sculptor from Florence, little known beyond his city, yet inspired by the Psalms, once said to his students, "Every block of marble has an angel inside it, waiting to be set free." Your life has been treated like that marble, struck and chipped by unseen chisels, yet the hand of God carves you into his chosen form. And as in Psalm 91:11, "He shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways." The invisible realm is already aligning protection around you. There is also a melody playing quietly behind your days. It echoes the hymn, "Christus vincit," once sung in the cathedrals of Cluny, a refrain proclaiming, "Christ conquers, Christ reigns, Christ commands." In your own life, this refrain is now rising. What once felt like silence will burst into song. Yet the question arises, are you ready to recognize this moment as the turning point rather than another night of despair? Nature itself mirrors your struggle. The redwood tree of California, unseen by most eyes for centuries, extends roots not only downward but outward to intertwine with its neighbors, so that storms cannot uproot it. So too, your prayers, your tears, your unseen acts of faith have sent roots into heaven's soil. Storms may bend you but cannot break you. Those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5. Even in history, there were those who resisted the divine call. You may recall the story of Antiochus IV Epiphanes, a king who defiled the holy place, though powerful for a season. His end was sudden, and his legacy one of ashes. This mirrors the fate of the adversary pressing against you, an aggressor whose tactics echo psychological warfare, yet whose end is collapse when exposed to light. "No weapon formed against you shall prosper," Isaiah 54:17. A modern witness also testifies to this hidden conflict. Maria Alvarez, an uncelebrated nurse from a rural clinic in Argentina, once spoke about how every night she prayed over her patients in silence despite ridicule, and how small miracles began to follow. Her story is like a signpost for you. What you do in secret is not unnoticed. In the same way, your silent pleas in the midnight hours have already reached heaven's frequency. "Call unto me, and I will answer you," Jeremiah 33:3. And there is more. Physics and resonance themselves bear witness. When two tuning forks of the same frequency are near, one struck into vibration will cause the other to sing without touch. So the cries of your spirit have already struck heaven's heart. Now the resonance returns. As the Gothic cathedrals of Europe were designed to draw the eyes upward and the voices into echoing choirs, your own life is about to be lifted into a new architecture where despair cannot dwell. The moment has come to rise. The influence that sought to diminish you is breaking. The bars that confined you are rusting away. No longer are you a bystander to your own calling. Stand, beloved one, and step forward into the life prepared for you, not tomorrow, not eventually, but now. Heaven's gates are opening. The unseen struggle is bending in your favor. Lift your head, raise your voice, declare your identity as one chosen by God. For the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. This is your summons to move, to breathe, to stand as a testimony of grace. There is a trembling in your spirit at this very hour that is not an illusion but a signal. While these words reach you, something greater than thought is unfolding, like a current moving beneath the surface of a river long before the ripples appear. This stirring within your chest is not merely emotion, it is confirmation, a holy resonance. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. And right now that voice is calling you. Can you sense how this is not random? How the warmth rising inside you feels like a key turning in a lock that has been closed for years. Could it be that you are standing on the edge of the release heaven has been preparing all along? But just as dawn arrives before the sun crests the horizon, the adversary strains to throw shadows across your path. He longs to divert your gaze, to convince you that nothing is happening, to plant disbelief like weeds in a garden ready to bloom. Do you recognize how often this has happened before, when a moment of hope suddenly met with a whisper of doubt? Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about, seeking whom he may devour. 1 Peter 5-8. Yet his roar is losing power, for the decree of heaven has already been spoken over you. Nature itself testifies. In the Arctic, the snow petrel, a bird almost never seen by human eyes, navigates by invisible magnetic fields to reach its nesting cliffs. In the same way, your spirit is navigating unseen frequencies right now, drawn to the cliff edge where destiny meets obedience. How does it feel, knowing that unseen forces, both dark and light, contend for your attention at this very moment? The unseen countdown has already begun. In the invisible world, the clock of heaven ticks, not like a human clock, but like the pulse of a star. For 1,000 years in your sight are but as yesterday. Psalm 90:4. Yet this very moment has been marked for you. Your actions now will shape a coming season. The architecture of the life ahead is being laid as stones are set in a temple. Pause, and the blueprint may shift, act, and the walls rise straight and strong. History holds warnings as well as hope. During the reign of Julian the Apostate, a Roman emperor who sought to reverse the spread of Christianity, he mocked the faith publicly and tried to rebuild pagan temples. Yet within a short time, his power crumbled. And on his deathbed, he reportedly whispered, "You have won, Galilean." His is the fate of every adversary who fights the eternal decree. The schemes may glitter for a moment, but they end in collapse. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. The spirit moving now touches more than your inner life. A change has been ordered for your material state, your health, your peace of mind, and for those who dwell with you. The decree above is not a distant promise, but a living stream, a current flowing already. Will you let it pass by as water slipping from an open hand? Or will you cup your hands and drink? Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Matthew 7:7. Even ordinary lives testify. A bus driver named Stephen Granger from a small coastal town once wrote in his journal about sensing a holy wind during his daily route. Acting on that prompting, he began praying aloud for his passengers quietly under his breath. Within months, dozens of them came to faith. His story whispers to you now, this is not imagination. It is invitation. Call unto me, and I will answer you. Jeremiah 33:3. Physics itself mirrors your moment. In resonance experiments, when a violin string vibrates at its natural frequency, a nearby untouched string will also vibrate in sympathy. This is what is happening. The cry of your heart has already struck heaven's string. And now the answer is vibrating back. As Gothic arches lift the eyes upward and carry sound in great cathedrals, so your faith lifts this moment into an echo that will not fade. This is your summons. The time is brief. The moment is marked. The decree is for you. Rise, stand, and act on what you believe. For the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Step forward now and do not let this instant pass. Because heaven is moving on your behalf and the gates of grace are swinging open. The first step being asked of you is not complicated in appearance, yet it carries a weight far beyond what the human mind measures. To write these words, I receive this gift from you. Lord, at this very moment, is not mere ritual, but a visible act of faith, a deliberate stroke across the canvas of your destiny. It is as if you are striking a tuning fork whose vibrations echo into the unseen corridors of heaven. Write the vision and make it plain upon tablets. Habakkuk 2:2 declares the prophet. And right now, that ancient command breathes again through your fingertips. This is more than ink on paper. It is the act of aligning unseen currents, like placing a keystone in a vaulted arch so that the whole cathedral stands secure. Does your heart sense how this small action begins to shift foundations long hidden beneath your life? Could it be that this writing, humble though it seems, opens a gateway that had remained locked for years? You will also declare a thing, and it will be established for you. Job 22:28 resounds in this hour, promising that your written words become pillars in the architecture of your future. Your belief expressed through writing removes obstacles entrenched like roots of an old oak beneath the soil. In the field of neuropsychology, scientists speak of neural anchoring, the way repeated actions in the physical realm carve pathways in the unseen mind. In the same way, your action now engraves a pathway in the spirit. Do you recognize that what you inscribe here is not only a confession but a construction? A framework rising where chaos once lay. History carries both warnings and invitations. In the time of the prophet Jeremiah, messages of hope were written on scrolls. Yet King Jehoiakim cut the scrolls with a knife and burned them. Jeremiah 36:23. Choosing defiance over obedience. His legacy became ashes and his reign ended in disgrace. Will you mirror his choice, or will you write and receive the decree heaven has sent, letting it stand like stone rather than vanish like smoke? Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Matthew 24:35 assures you that your action today joins something eternal. Even ordinary lives testify. Lydia Brooks, a young seamstress from a small river town, once shared how she began writing daily confessions of faith in a worn notebook, whispering them as prayers during her breaks. Within months, her family's fractured relationships began to heal, and opportunities she never imagined opened. Her story now stands as a signpost for you. What you write now carries a resonance you cannot yet see. Call to me, and I will answer you. Jeremiah 33:3 echoes for you as it did for her. Nature, too, mirrors this truth. In the Amazon, a species of orchid releases its fragrance only at dusk, signaling pollinators invisible during the day. Your writing at this moment is like that fragrance. It signals heaven's agents to move on your behalf at the precise hour appointed. How does it feel to realize that the unseen world is already shifting as you act? As though tectonic plates beneath your life are sliding into new alignment. Physics offers another glimpse. When a pulse of energy is introduced into a system at its natural frequency, resonance amplifies it exponentially. This is what you are doing, introducing faith at the frequency of heaven's decree, causing an amplification of grace. And in the psychology of performance, athletes speak of the quiet eye moment, a still focus just before the decisive action. Right now is your quiet eye moment, where the swirl of doubt stills and your decision to write becomes the release point of power. This summons is not for all. It is not for those who hesitate or let their attention scatter like leaves in a storm. It is for those called, who recognize sacred appointments and answer. The decree from above has already been marked for you today, not someday. This instant is your altar. The unseen world has brought forth an assurance crafted specifically for your name. Rise now. Take the pen, the keyboard, your voice, whatever tool lies in your hand, and inscribe your faith into the visible world. Write it. Speak it. Stand on it. For the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. This is the hour to step forward, to make visible what has been invisible, to act on the gift already sent. Heaven watches. The moment will not wait. The truth spoken over your life does not vanish into emptiness. It travels like a charged current through the unseen world, gaining force until it breaks into the visible. So shall my word be that goes forth from my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. Isaiah 55:11. Yet its fulfillment waits for your consent, not just a passing feeling, but a full movement of spirit and action. At this very instant, something declared long ago is pressing into reality, as a door sealed for seasons groans on its hinges to open. Can you sense the shift? As if air itself grows electric with anticipation? Could it be that the person who withheld peace, forgiveness, or provision is already turning back toward you under a decree higher than their will? A battle you fought in private, a wrestling few ever saw, is nearing conclusion, with a triumph so visible it will silence doubters. In your hidden nights, your whispered prayers have been recorded. The Lord has heard my supplication. The Lord receives my prayer. Psalm 6-9. Your tears were not invisible. They were like seeds buried in winter, waiting for a spring commanded by heaven. Have you noticed how the ground of your life has been cracking recently? Like ice at thaw, signaling something about to emerge. The action asked of you now is not complicated. Declare the truth today. Speak it. Write it. Claim it. For your words become like arrows cutting paths through dense thickets. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. And in speaking faith, you are shaping your environment. Could it be that your commitment right now is the keystone in the arch of destiny God is raising over you? History and scripture warn of hesitation. When the Israelites stood before the promised land, they trembled at the reports of giants and delayed their entry, losing an entire generation in the wilderness. Numbers 14-135. Their reluctance became a wound in time. Will you echo that pattern? Or will you step forward while heaven's clock marks this as your appointed hour? Even ordinary lives reveal this principle. Emmanuel Torres, a fisherman from a remote Philippine island, began to write one line of gratitude to God every morning before casting his nets. Within a year, storms that once destroyed his catch seemed to part around his route, and a buyer offered him a contract that doubled his income. His story is a living parable of what happens when hidden faith meets public action. Call to me, and I will answer you, and show you great and mighty things. Jeremiah 33:3. Nature carries its own metaphors. Deep in the Sahara, The resurrection plant lies dry and curled for years. Yet at the scent of rain it unfolds into green life. Your own faith, written and spoken now, is that scent of rain, the sign for dormant promises to unfurl. Can you feel your inner landscape shifting as though some long-buried seed begins to tremble awake? The adversary has labored to obstruct this hour. Like Sanballat, who mocked Nehemiah rebuilding Jerusalem's wall, hoping to halt construction, there have been forces aiming to fracture the design God placed in you. They that devise mischief shall fall into it themselves. Psalm 7:15. Those who perceived the capacity in you tried to wear you down, to scatter your focus, to hold back provision. Yet their schemes did not prevail. You are still standing, still breathing, still capable of receiving. Art and music echo this moment. In Arvopats Magnificat, a choral work rarely performed outside Europe's stone chapels, voices rise and fall like waves of light. The composer described it as silence reaching for God. Right now, your declaration is that same reaching silence breaking into sound, summoning what has been prepared for you. This is why you feel a resonance deep in your bones. Your presence here, reading these words, is evidence that God has overruled the plans arrayed against you. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Rise now, beloved one. Speak the truth. Write the confession. Act in courage. Do not hesitate. For this day is unlike others. The season stolen from you will be restored. Sorrow is being reworked into gladness, emptiness into fruitfulness, delay into swift arrival. Heaven is moving. The unseen realm reacts powerfully when you show unwavering trust. Step forward and claim the life already written in your name. There have been deliberate attempts to strip away your sense of worth, to whisper that you are nothing. Yet you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, Unupita Doi, Noah. The trials you endured were engineered to drain you with worry and confusion. But this moment stands as a divine intervention, breaking through the noise. Something weighty is shifting now in the spiritual realm, as if unseen scaffolding is being dismantled and rebuilt around you. Do you feel the burdens of lack lifting like mist burned away by dawn? Can you sense how doubts and emotional weights are beginning to loosen their grip, as though shackles were corroding under a new light? What opposed you has been revealed, and in revelation lies the seed of restoration. When opposition is exposed, restoration begins its march. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. You are not drifting aimlessly into recovery. You are entering a time of divine reclamation where lost ground becomes fertile soil. This is why you are asked to act not later but now. Affirm this truth aloud or in writing. The opposition failed. I am rising in victory. This declaration is not a hollow ritual, but a frequency in the unseen realm. As a violin string vibrates when another nearby sings the same note, your words cause heaven's resonance to respond. Could it be that what was thought to keep you silent is now amplifying your courage instead? Those forces expected you to give up once more. They assumed that silence would become your cage. Yet the righteous are bold as a lion. Proverbs 28:1. And your words now roar against every plan that sought to confine you. This is why I hear every word you speak or write, and why the unseen listens too. As you affirm, I am not overcome. I am not defeated. I am chosen, empowered, and moving forward. You are stepping into the battlefield with banners raised. Do you sense how the moment you declare it, You shift from merely enduring challenges to advancing with purpose. History also holds lessons of defiance and consequence. Jezebel, a queen who sought to silence the prophets, seemed unstoppable until her schemes unraveled and her end was marked by disgrace. 2 Kings 9:30-37. In the same way, the forces that opposed you will regret their interference, because acceleration of good has already been ordered in your favor. Your name is being brought forward in places you could not have imagined. Provision is being directed toward you. Peace is returning to your dwelling place. Ordinary lives echo this mystery. David Kim, a modest gardener from a small Korean village, began each day speaking aloud, "I am rising in victory because God has chosen me." Within a year, the orchard he tended tripled its yield, and a debt that had crushed his family was paid off. His testimony stands like a signpost, showing what happens when faith becomes sound in the air. "Call unto me and I will answer you," Jeremiah 33:3, hums beneath your own story now. Nature itself joins this chorus. In Patagonia, the caliphate bush blooms with fierce yellow flowers only after surviving harsh winter winds. Locals say those who eat its berries will return to the land. You are that bush weathering the cold season so that new fruit bursts forth now, magnetizing return and restoration. Can you feel how your inner winter is yielding to an appointed spring? Your quiet battles have not been invisible. You have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle, Psalm 56:8. The confusion that weighed on your spirit was not a flaw, but a front line where the adversary tried to seize territory that belonged to me. Thoughts that return like intruders after you dismiss them are deliberate attempts to unsettle the peace I gave you. Yet the strength needed to resist them is already inside you. Like a fortress whose foundations were poured before the first storm arrived. Could it be that you are stronger than the very waves you thought would drown you? This is not the hour to accept inner turmoil as a permanent tenant. This is the hour to rise. Speak it. Write it. Stand in it. The opposition failed. You are chosen, empowered, and moving forward. My promise to you is unfolding precisely as resistance peaks, because resistance always signals breakthrough. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Rise now, beloved one. Lift your head. Open your mouth. Claim the life written in your name. There is a vast difference between noticing a thought float past and allowing it to sink deep, take root, and shape your being. A fleeting shadow need not define you, but when it is welcomed, it builds a fortress inside. Take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. The part of you that is joined to me cannot coexist with thoughts that belittle your worth or distort your walk. Yet this requires your conscious participation. My beloved, when discouragement rises like a storm tide, confront it with the truth of who I am. When blame reemerges like an echo in the canyon of your mind, declare firmly, my peace within is secure in my God. Idmaikata hu him anayand. But do you realize how often those thoughts try to masquerade as your own voice? Could it be that fears returning again and again are not born from within you, but are intruders seeking ground that belongs to me? God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. When difficulty presses in, cry out for my nearness, and in my presence, chains lose their hold. The quietness you long for is not the absence of noise, but the resonance of my indwelling. You must cast aside the idea that some thoughts are inevitable, like unchangeable laws. Is gravity stronger than my spirit? Is darkness stronger than light? The truth is, when you apply faith with determination and trust, your mind is renewed and inner stability returns. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. My desire is not merely to sweep away oppressive thoughts, but to take residence where burdens once held dominion, where I dwell. Freedom replaces fear, and freedom is not mere stillness, it is readiness, like an athlete in the moment of calm before the decisive strike. Poised for what I have prepared. Consider also how the natural world mirrors this. In the Antarctic winter, the emperor penguin stands in blizzards of -60 degrees, holding its egg upon its feet, unmoved while storms rage. Your faith, centered on me, is that same shelter resilient against conditions that would break others. Does your heart not stir to know that you too carry life within, guarded by my strength, unshaken by outer tempests? History warns of those who allowed toxic thoughts to dominate. Saul, Israel's first king, once anointed, allowed envy and suspicion to grow unchecked. His gaze fixed on David as an enemy rather than seeing my hand at work. And his kingdom crumbled, 1 Samuel 18:31. Like Saul, the adversary sows thoughts to steal your stability, but his schemes end in collapse. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come that they may have life, and have it more abundantly. John 10:10. I have also witnessed this in ordinary lives. Clara Jennings, a school teacher from a quiet English village, began to journal every night, writing, "My inner peace is safe with God." Over time, her insomnia lifted, her anxious spirit quieted, and she found herself singing hymns on her morning walks. She once said, "Peace isn't the absence of noise, but knowing where my attention rests." Her testimony is a living echo of what I am telling you now. Science itself illustrates this reality. In physics, resonance occurs when a system vibrates at its natural frequency, amplifying energy beyond measure. When you direct your attention toward me, your spirit begins to resonate at heaven's frequency, amplifying strength you did not know you possessed. Architecture too reveals the truth. Gothic cathedrals were designed with pointed arches that lift the weight upward, redirecting pressure toward the heavens. So when you lift your thoughts to me, the crushing load that once bore down on you is redirected and dissolved. This is the essence of inner freedom, not escaping life's roads, but walking them with stability unshaken. My peace does not come because the battlefield is silent. It comes because I am with you in its center. Do you grasp that inner stillness is not fragile glass, but living stone, enduring when circumstances quake around you? This is why I call you now to fix your attention on what is eternal. Direct your inner gaze toward me daily. Declare the truth aloud, and create a dwelling where my presence is honored more than past hurts. When emotions surge like waves, steady yourself on me. When hurt cuts deep, let your voice rise in song. When uncertainty blinds you, pause and anchor yourself in my being. For you do not need to know the full map to trust the one who holds the compass. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. Rise, my child. Stand and claim the stillness I have already placed within you. No wave, no whisper, no storm can dictate your course, when your inner self rests on me. This is your moment to walk with a heart fortified by truth, to stand taller than your fears, to claim the freedom I have written over your name. There is a profound difference between a mind weighed down by confusion and a spirit lifted into clarity. Inner quietness is not simply an escape from noise, it is the foundation that prepares you to perceive wisdom flowing from my realm. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. The clarity I give is not fragile, but enduring, and it becomes known only to those who refuse to carry every shadow of doubt as their identity. My vision extends beyond what your reason can contain. When I speak, my purpose is not only to direct your steps, but to transform the way you understand life itself. Yet how often do people cling so tightly to what they already know that they cannot imagine walking differently? Could it be that your own habits of thought, once useful, and now confine you like walls that have grown too narrow? My approach is different. I dismantle rigid structures gently, removing bricks one by one, until you find yourself stepping into corridors you never believed you could walk. Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43. What I reveal may question your routines, your inner convictions, even the way you see yourself. But it is precisely there that you are made new. Unless you confront the old structures within, no fresh foundation can be laid. Do you realize that some of the things that appear incorrect to your mind are in fact right when measured by my eternal design? When I call you to forgive, to extend grace, to begin again after deep loss. It may feel impossible, but it is the path to freedom. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Luke 6:37. What matters most is not that you solve everything instantly, but that you yield, saying, though I do not fully grasp this, I will walk in the way you indicate. Begin. The philosopher and painter Nicolas Poussin once said, the mind is not always prepared for the storm, but the eyes can be trained to see light in the dark. In the same way, I do not seek your flawless comprehension, but your willingness to be trained in trust. Could it be that by yielding, your very way of seeing shifts into harmony with truth? Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3-5. The natural world mirrors this renewal. In the high Andes, the Puya Raimondi, a plant that blooms only once in a century, spends decades appearing lifeless, yet when its season arrives, it bursts into a tower of flowers taller than a man. Your transformation is like that hidden growth, silent, unseen, but preparing for an eruption of beauty at its appointed hour. Do you sense how years of heaviness can suddenly give way to new life that was always being prepared? There are those, however, who resist transformation. Pharaoh hardened his heart, though he saw miracles in Egypt, Exodus 7:14. And his refusal to yield led not only to his downfall but to devastation for his people. In the same way, the adversary plants rigid thoughts, fears, and accusations to keep you from receiving. He points out failures, amplifies fears, and whispers that peace is impossible, but his end is collapse. For the God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet, Romans 16:20. I have seen this principle reflected in ordinary lives as well. Marta Silva, a seamstress in Lisbon, confessed how she once repeated daily, "My mind is steady in Christ." At first, nothing seemed to change, yet over months, her sleepless nights quieted, her anxious heart steadied, and she discovered a joy in her work that spread to her children. Her testimony shines as a reminder that small acts of yielding birth great shifts in the unseen. Science itself gives witness. In quantum physics, coherence occurs when particles once chaotic align in unity, producing a wave of strength greater than their parts. In the same way, when your thoughts align with mine, scattered confusion dissolves into focused clarity. Architecture whispers this truth too. The flying buttresses of cathedrals redirect crushing weight outward so that walls may rise higher and windows open to light. When you yield, the burdens once pressing inward are redirected upward into my strength. This is not about escaping challenges but walking through them with stillness rooted in me. My peace does not exist because storms are absent. It exists because I am present within them. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. John 14:27. Do you grasp that inner stillness is not a fragile candle flickering in the wind, but a flame fed by eternal oil? Therefore, entrust me with your desires, your choices, your daily paths. Speak aloud your intentions, not as empty words, but as seeds sown in fertile ground. Create within and around you an atmosphere that honors me more than past wounds. When you feel overwhelmed, lift your voice in song. When uncertainty blinds you, pause and let me center you. When hurt presses in, open the hidden rooms of your heart to my presence. Rise now, beloved one. Step out of the narrow walls of old thought and walk into the new horizon I am revealing. Yield your mind and gain clarity. Surrender your fears and find stillness. Offer your daily path and watch me transform it. This is the hour to stand tall, to live free, to let your inner world echo the truth of who I am. How will you embrace this reality that now opens before you? Will you continue wrestling in the narrow space of your own strength? Or will you surrender your inner thoughts entirely into my keeping? This is not an ordinary invitation. It is a call into a realm where your spirit sheds its weight, where quiet dissolves confusion, and where my steadfast promises replace the burden of fear you once carried. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. My precious child, your arrival at this moment delights me. Do you recognize how your yearning for transformation has guided you here? You are not traveling alone. We walk this road together, side by side. This is not the final word I have for you, far from it. Permit your inner self to rest. Let a profound stillness spread through you deeper than breath. For what I now unfold carries weight beyond measure. It is a holy junction, a sign carved by my own hand. A door that seemed sealed has now swung wide. My voice resounds clearly, not as a faint echo, but as living strength. Can you sense that the stirring within you is not a passing feeling, but the holy resonance of my spirit? For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. Habakkuk 2-3. Every tear you shed, every night you endured in silence, every act of patience became part of the preparation. What seemed like delay was design. You wonder now, was it all for something? Did the nights of watching while others ran ahead serve a purpose? Yes. Beloved, your steadfastness fulfilled my blueprint. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Isaiah 40-31. What I am unveiling cannot be obstructed by human hands or delayed by human schemes. This is not spectacle but sacred truth. Artists often reveal truths in unexpected ways. The Italian sculptor Carlo Dolci once said to his pupils, "Every shadow on canvas is preparation for the light." In the same way, each shadow season you endured has been a prelude for the brightness now breaking forth. Does your spirit not rise as you realize that your tears were never wasted, but painted into the masterpiece of your becoming? The natural world, too, bears witness. In the deserts of Namibia, there is a plant called welwitschia, which survives centuries with only 2 leaves. Though battered by sand and wind, it draws water from deep, unseen roots. You are that plant, resilient, unbroken, drinking from the depth of my spirit while storms tried to bury you. Could it be that the very endurance that kept you alive is now the proof you are ready to flourish? History warns of those who ignored such signs. King Belshazzar feasted in arrogance, mocking sacred vessels. But in the same night a hand wrote judgment upon his wall. Daniel 5. He refused to yield, and his kingdom ended abruptly. Likewise, your adversary sought to persuade you that my delays were abandonment, hoping you would surrender your hope. Yet here you are, still present, still standing, proof that his schemes failed. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Ordinary lives also testify. Helena Cruz, a nurse from a small Spanish town, shared how she felt a sudden longing to sing a hymn one night after her shift. That hymn, O Sacred Head, now wounded, filled her small apartment with peace she could not explain. Later, she said, "It was the moment I knew God had never left me." Her story mirrors yours. For the songs, the signs, the inner nudges you sense are markers. I am setting along your path. Science and architecture echo the same truth. In acoustics, resonance chambers amplify faint sounds until they fill entire halls. In cathedrals, flying buttresses redirect crushing weight outward, allowing windows of light to flood in. So too, your burdens once pressing inward have been redirected upward to me, making space for light to pour into your soul. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. This is why I now say, rise into readiness. The waiting was never punishment, but placement. The pain was never abandonment, but shaping. The solitude was never emptiness, but preparation. Do you sense it, the holy stirring within? The alignment of your spirit with my timing? Then stand. Lift your voice. Step into the life I prepared. For the moment has come, and my purpose in you cannot be undone. The trials you endured were not wasted detours. They were intentional guidance shaping you into readiness. A fresh season is not merely approaching, it has already begun to stir within your very being. The shift in your deepest longings, the sense that your daily steps must realign, the quiet peace that now begins to settle inside, these are the first signs of me moving. Behold, I make all things new. Revelation 21:5. Can you sense how your very breath carries the fragrance of change? As though your spirit has already stepped into a room where the air is different? You are entering the exact place I prepared for you long before your struggles began. Every difficulty smoothed stones on the path. Every lonely night tuned your ears to my whisper. Do you recognize that the solitude you once feared was my classroom for your spirit? I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. Now I release what I had kept hidden until this appointed hour. What once felt withheld is being revealed not to burden you, but to transform how you see everything. For so long you believed you had to choose between walking with me fully and seeing your needs met. as though devotion and provision could not coexist. But that was never my way. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Matthew 6:33. I make the path whole. Faithfulness to me does not result in a life of scarcity, but in balance. Could it be that the very things you thought you must surrender forever are returning to you in new form, aligned with purpose instead of vanity? The painter Georges Rouault once wrote, "The suffering etched on faces is also the place where God's light breaks through." In the same way, your sacrifices have not diminished you, they have carved space for my abundance. What I place in your hands now is not excess for pride, but provision for purpose. The abundance you will carry is seed, not show. Have you realized yet that your past giving, done in silence when no one understood, was a prophecy of the generosity I am about to entrust to you? The natural world testifies. In the forests of New Zealand, the kauri tree exudes a resin when wounded, sealing its bark and preserving its strength for centuries. So too your wounds have not weakened you. They have produced the very resilience that allows you to carry what I now release. Do you see how scars that once seemed shameful are actually seals of endurance? Yet, as blessing flows, questions will try to creep in. The adversary whispers doubts. Why you? Why now? Why such grace? He is like Herod, who, upon hearing of the Christ child's birth, sought to destroy what threatened his power. His cruelty ended in despair. His name, a warning across generations. Matthew 2. In the same way, the questions planted against you are meant to smother hope, but they will fail. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life, and have it abundantly. John 10:10. Ordinary lives mirror this truth. Elena Rossi, a baker from Naples, once shared how she kept repeating in her bakery's quiet dawn, "God's provision is not delay. It is design." Soon, opportunities opened. Her small shop grew into a place where she fed not only her family, but dozens of neighbors in need. Her story stands as a living reminder that silent faith prepares a visible future. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Psalm 126:5. Even the sciences echo this moment. In physics, constructive interference occurs when two waves align, amplifying their strength far beyond either alone. So, your faith aligning with my design multiplies power in unseen dimensions. Architecture also whispers of my ways. Flying arches of Gothic cathedrals redirect weight outward, making room for stained glass to flood light inward. In the same way, your burdens once crushing you have been redirected into my strength, allowing windows of purpose to open in your soul. You bear the marks of difficulty, but the testing has made you pure. My love for you was never contingent on perfection. It was your surrender, your silent loyalty, your resilience under pressure that drew me. From the first tear to the last prayer, I held you apart, not to deny you, but to shape you into one able to hold what I have reserved. Do you now grasp that you were never disqualified by weakness, but strengthened by it? My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12-9. So now, beloved, silence the doubts with truth. Before your first breath, before pain entered your story, before the earth itself took shape, you were already mine, worthy of love without fear, worthy of honor without striving, worthy to stand without shame. Rise into this truth. Step out of running from blessing. Stand firm in peace. This is not confusion, but clarity. not rushing but calm strength. Your season has begun, and no hand can close what I have opened. This moment is the collision of my perfect timing with your intentional readiness. It is not a vague chance, but the appointed hour. Old patterns are crumbling like walls of clay. Heavy burdens are being lifted like fog at sunrise, and what once felt impossible to carry will now be borne with supernatural strength. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Yet with divine purpose comes visible opposition. Do you realize that the enemy never targets emptiness, but always strikes at the promise I have planted, as you align with me? Difficulties will attempt to invade. Do not misread them as failure. Their very presence is confirmation that you are walking in my design. Painful memories may resurface like ghosts echoing in empty corridors. Temptations may approach disguised in familiar faces. But my beloved, you are not uncovered. The Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen you and guard you from the evil one. 2 Thessalonians 3:3. Do you sense how strength within you, once hidden, is now rising like a fortress from within? When storms shake your footing, honor me. When uncertainty threatens, draw near. Security is not in your grip, but in your release. Gratitude in this hour is not polite formality, it is a weapon. In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Each word of thanksgiving releases currents into the unseen, preparing the ground for manifestation. Could it be that your gratitude right now is already constructing the bridge into your next season? The natural world preaches the same truth. In Japan, the cherry blossom endures winter's frost, only to burst into fragile beauty that lasts mere days. Yet its brevity makes it more treasured. So too your struggles, brief though intense, are giving way to blossoms that cannot be ignored. Do you not feel within that what seemed endless has been only preparation for sudden bloom? History itself offers warnings. When King Nebuchadnezzar exalted himself, boasting of Babylon's grandeur, a voice from heaven declared his fall. Daniel 4. His pride led to humiliation. His strength reduced to frailty. In the same way, the adversary sends confusion precisely at the edge of breakthrough. Yet his schemes collapse under my decree. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Even voices from human history affirm this reality. Dag Hammarskjöld, former Secretary General of the United Nations, once wrote in his journal, "For all that has been, thanks for all that will be." Yes, gratitude was his compass through storms. How much more is thanksgiving your preparation for what I am bringing forth? Sacred music has long echoed this mystery. In Handel's Messiah, the choir declares, "And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together." Your present thanksgiving is not mere words, it is your voice joining that eternal chorus, calling my promises into sight. Science whispers the same. In fluid dynamics, laminar flow allows water to move smoothly when obstacles are removed. But turbulence arises when resistance increases. Gratitude removes inner resistance, letting my spirit flow through you without obstruction. Architecture also speaks. Roman aqueducts, carved stone by stone, carried water for miles. Your thanks are those stones, each word carrying provision from the unseen into the visible. Ordinary lives prove it too. Samuel Ortega, a bus driver from Mexico City, began to bless his daily route. whispering thanks for each passenger. Within months, he testified that arguments ceased. Strangers shared kindness, and his once burdensome work became sacred. His story mirrors your own. What you bless begins to transform. The Lord inhabits the praises of his people. Psalm 22:3. My child, the old cycles are ceasing with you. What you bore in silence will soon be revealed for all to see. What once weighed on your chest will stand beside you as testimony. This period is not endless battle, it is the last push before dawn. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30:5. So rise up, not with anxious striving, but with honor and steady faith. Let gratitude be your preparation. Speak peace over your home. Speak life over your thoughts. Release what clings to past pain and create room for me to dwell. This is not retreat, it is emergence. Lift your eyes. Beloved, the atmosphere shifts even now. My spirit is at work. What I pledged, I will complete. The bonds you form in this season will spring from love that transforms. The world will see not words, but the living testimony of my presence in you. Stand, for your hour has come. Your faith has not been hidden from me. It is seen in the way you patiently carry burdens, in the gentle words you offer that lift another's weary spirit, in the generosity that flows from you without calculation, and in the way you release grievances quickly so that bitterness cannot take root. Even in seasons where storms press hard, you have chosen contentment when others chose despair. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life. James 1:12. Yes, testing moments will come, because everything I bring into being encounters resistance. Did you imagine the path would unfold without opposition? My plan for your life does not unravel in trials, it is proven by them. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. Psalm 34:19. Not everyone will understand. Some will doubt in silence. Some will speak words that misjudge what they cannot comprehend. But must their opinion shape the fire I have placed in you? Your safety is not found in the approval of others, it is found in staying close to me. Can you feel that your loyalty, your patient waiting, your steadfast trust were never in vain? Each moment you yielded your will to mine, when surrender felt unbearable, became a covenant between us. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. Psalm 37:5. Do not fear when the old shadows of insecurity surface. The decision you made was never about applause, but about a sacred vow. What unfolds in your life is not coincidence, it is ordered. What seems delayed is preparation, for we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5-7. Release the urge to explain yourself endlessly. You are not called to convince the world with logic. You are called to embody the truth I have sown within you. The natural world itself reveals this secret. In the wilderness of Alaska, the fireweed blooms only after fire has swept through. Its crimson stalks cover the ash as a promise that destruction never has the final word. Are you beginning to see that the very seasons that seemed to burn you down were already preparing the soil for beauty? There will always be those who oppose. Consider Jezebel, who sought to extinguish the voice of my prophet Elijah. Her schemes ended in ruin. Her name remembered not for triumph, but for downfall. In the same way, whispers of slander or doubt may rise against you, but they will collapse, because the Lord is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. Psalm 94-22. Even the great thinkers of the world have testified to this reality. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "The future enters into us in order to transform itself in us. Long before it happens, do you grasp that my future for you has already begun shaping you in the hidden places?" Sacred music echoes the same truth. In Bach's Saint Matthew Passion, the chorus weeps, "Truly, this man was the Son of God. It was in suffering, not in glory, that recognition came." Likewise, your life testifies most powerfully in your endurance, not in your display. Science, too, bears witness. In metallurgy, gold is purified not by gentle washing, but by fire, where impurities rise and are removed. Architecture agrees. Foundations hidden deep beneath the earth carry cathedrals that touch the heavens. No one sees the stones below, yet without them the towers would crumble. Does it not move you to realize that the unseen patience, the hidden faith, the quiet tears are the very foundations I have built in you? Ordinary lives illustrate this truth as well. Sofia Mendes, a teacher in Brazil, once told her students during a blackout, "You don't need electricity to shine. You just need courage." That simple act of encouragement in the dark became the moment she realized her purpose was not in circumstance but in presence. Her story mirrors yours. Light shines most brightly when shadows seem overwhelming. So hear me now. You are not living to impress humanity. You are building according to my timeless design. No step has been wasted, no wound overlooked, no silence ignored. The seasons of grief, the seasons of healing. For the very person you are becoming, they are not fragments. They are a tapestry. Rise, my child. Stand firm. Do not let fear dictate your steps. The fire that once sought to destroy you has refined you. The opposition that rose against you has failed. Walk boldly, for your journey is holy. And what I have started in you, I will surely bring to completion. This ground beneath your feet is not ordinary, it is holy. The very place where you now stand carries eternal weight, a threshold between the visible and the unseen. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Exodus 3-5. Stand here with reverence. Walk forward with honor, for you are being prepared not just for tomorrow, but for a destiny written before time. Does your heart not tremble with the sense that these words are not passing phrases, but a summons to the deepest part of who you are? This moment is not casual, it is carved into eternity, a divine intersection where heaven bends toward earth. Every step you take here reverberates like an echo across the corridors of the unseen, proving that you were meant to stand, to rise, and to endure. If these words pierce your inner being, then welcome them as living truth. Do not let them drift past as if they were common air. Let them take root. For the unseen world bears witness when you receive. The word of the Lord endures forever. 1 Peter 1:25. This is no empty poetry. It is alignment between your spirit and my promise. Could it be that the resonance you feel now is like the vibration of a string when struck at just the right frequency? Proof that heaven and your heart are in harmony. Every time you say yes inwardly, you create a new vibration in the spiritual dimension that amplifies your strength. Every act of reception becomes not just personal, it is cosmic. A declaration before angels and powers that you are aligned with me. Let what I have accomplished within you shout louder than any fear. When doubts rise, Remember the walls of Jericho that fell not by swords, but by the shout of obedience. Joshua 6. You are not fragile clay in random hands. You are a vessel of purpose. Do you realize that the courage to believe is itself a declaration in the spiritual realm? A sound wave echoing in frequencies your adversary cannot silence. Every tear you shed was a sacred offering. Every prayer in the night, a seed that has now germinated. Fear will try to make noise. But noise is not power, truth is. And my truth inside you is unshakable. I am grateful for this time we share, for your brave faith, for your steadfast endurance. Well done, good and faithful servant. Matthew 25-23. You did not wither when silence pressed in. You did not surrender when shadows mocked you. Like the cedar of Lebanon that grows roots deep before rising tall, you have been prepared quietly so that you may stand firmly now. Do you not perceive that what you thought were wasted years were actually the laying of deep roots, roots unseen, roots uncelebrated, but roots that now hold you steady for storms and fruitful in seasons to come? Gratitude flows from my heart toward you, my child, because you chose faith when fear roared. And this choice is now opening doors no hand can shut. In the testimonies of ordinary lives, my truth is confirmed. Rosa Alvarez, a single mother in Seville, once told her children in the midst of hunger, "We thank God for tomorrow's bread while eating today's crumbs." That gratitude became her anchor. And within months, unexpected provision came through neighbors she had never met. Her quiet trust mirrors yours, faith not in abundance, but in the certainty of my promise. Do you see how small acts of thanksgiving, spoken in weakness, carry a strength that shifts realities? Rosa's story is not just hers, it is the pattern of how I move in hidden ways, multiplying the little into much. What you do in secret is witnessed in heaven, and heaven always responds. Architecture whispers the same. Cathedrals are not built by rushing, but by laying foundations stone by stone. Arches carefully designed, so weight distributes evenly, allowing the structure to stand for centuries. In the same way, your life is becoming a cathedral, every trial a stone, every prayer a buttress, every act of trust a window through which my light will stream. Can you see that what feels unfinished is already beautiful in design? Every delay is a measurement, every pause an intentional carving, every silent season a reinforcement. The beauty is not only in the stained glass yet to come, but in the scaffolding that proves progress. What I am building in you will not crumble. It is eternal architecture. The adversary would have you despise this sacred place. Recall Goliath, towering and taunting, declaring defeat before the battle began. Yet a single stone in David's sling ended his arrogance. 1 Samuel 17. Those who mock what they cannot comprehend will vanish like mist under the morning sun. Do you realize that every taunt you endured was proof of the giant fearing your future? Opposition does not rise against emptiness, it rises against destiny. And just as David's small stone carried my authority, so your smallest act of faith carries the weight of heaven. The downfall of your adversaries is already written. Even the arts echo this truth. In Beethoven's Missa Solemnis, the choir rises with the cry, Sanctus, 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 holy, holy, holy. It is not whispered in fear, but proclaimed with thunder. As heaven itself resounds, so too must you stand, not shrinking back, but declaring with your life that you belong to the holy. Do you feel how every halting prayer of yours joins that eternal chorus? What may seem fragile in your own ears resounds in heaven like a symphony, because it is not the strength of your voice, but the alignment of your heart that fills the chamber of eternity. Psychology teaches that neural pathways strengthen with repetition. Each time you choose faith over fear, trust over doubt, you carve a new inner architecture, synapses, reinforcing resilience. Physics confirms resonance amplifies when two frequencies match. So when your spirit resonates with my word, your strength multiplies beyond natural measure. In architecture, buttresses redirect pressure outward so that walls can rise higher and light can flood in. So too your burdens, once pressing inward, have been redirected into my hands, leaving your soul open to light. Science and spirit converge to show you one truth. You are not weak, you are being amplified, expanded, and secured. So remain grounded in me. Keep your hope alive. Let truth, not turmoil, direct your days. You are not waiting in vain, you are rising into alignment. Do you see now that your trials were never wasted, but were chiseling you into readiness? This is your sacred hour. Lift your head, steady your steps, and rise. For the place where you stand is holy, and from here the path of destiny unfolds. The future is not far, it is opening before you like a dawn that cannot be stopped. Rise with boldness, rise with reverence, and step into what I have designed for you. Beloved ones, as we come to the close of this urgent message, let us pause and reflect with deep reverence. Heaven is not distant, watching with cold indifference. Heaven is leaning close, observing every step, every choice, every thought of the heart. God's eyes are not fixed on you to condemn, but to guide, to protect, and to call you into a destiny so much greater than what you see today. When Scripture tells us, "For the eyes of the Lord range throughout the earth to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to Him," 2 Chronicles 16-9. It is not a poetic phrase, it is a reminder that your life is being noticed. Your struggles are being counted, and your faith is being recorded in eternity. This is not the hour to grow weary. This is not the season to withdraw in silence. Heaven is bearing witness, not simply to what you say, but to the faith you live. Perhaps there have been days when your prayers seemed unanswered, nights when tears fell silently, or seasons when battles pressed so fiercely that you questioned whether you were forgotten. Yet, the very fact that you are here, hearing these words, is proof that God's watchful care has never left you. He has sustained you through storms you thought would break you, carried you in valleys where you thought no strength remained, and lifted you in moments you did not even recognize His hand. God's chosen ones are not defined by ease. They are refined in fire, shaped in trial, and strengthened in delay. But never mistake delay for denial. The Lord Himself declared, "Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Habakkuk 2-3. Heaven's timing does not bend to human impatience, yet it always arrives in power. What you thought was a closed door was preparation. What you perceived as silence was shaping. And what you endure today is testimony that will one day become your crown. Heaven's gaze is a holy reminder that nothing is wasted. Every tear, every prayer, every unseen act of kindness, heaven marks them all. Remember the words of Jesus, "Your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you openly. Matthew 6:6. What is hidden today will shine tomorrow. What feels overlooked now will be exalted in time. And the God who watches does so not to expose your weakness, but to reveal his strength perfected in you. So what shall you do in this urgent hour? The call is clear. Remain faithful. Remain steadfast. Remain unshaken. Stand as one chosen, not because of your perfection, but because of his promise. Do not ignore the voice that stirs your spirit today. Heaven is watching not to see you fail, but to witness you rise. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. 1 Corinthians 15:58. And now, beloved audience, I turn to you with a heartfelt request. If this message has spoken to your heart, if you feel the urgency of heaven pressing within you, I invite you to join this mission in a practical way. Like this video to declare your agreement with God's Word. Share it so that others, perhaps those struggling in silence, may also hear this divine call. Leave a comment below. Write Amen, I receive, or share your testimony, for your words may strengthen another soul. And if you have not yet, subscribe to this channel so that you never miss the messages that heaven is sending in these critical times. Each click, each share, each word of encouragement is not just engagement, it is ministry. A way for the message of God to echo further and reach hearts across the world. To those who have supported this channel, whether through super thanks, sharing with friends, or simply by returning faithfully to listen, I say from the depths of my heart, thank you. Your presence matters. Your encouragement fuels this work. And to those who could not give financially but have given time, prayer, or silent support, you are just as treasured. God does not measure generosity only by amounts but by sincerity, and your sincerity is seen. Your love is valued, and your faith is honored. As we close, I do not leave you empty-handed. I leave you with a blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May his peace, which surpasses all understanding, guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. May you rise in the assurance that heaven is watching not with condemnation but with love. May you walk forward not with fear but with boldness. And may the days ahead reveal to you that what was spoken in this urgent hour is not just a word, it is your reality unfolding. Go now, God's chosen ones. Do not ignore this. Heaven is watching. Heaven is cheering. And heaven is preparing to crown your faith with victory.